My name's Alice and I'm one of the boat masters here at the wheel, but in this instance I'm going to act as your crew and your guide. Your skipper for this afternoon's trip is John. Between the two of us we're going to take you up through the wheel, along an aqueduct, through a tunnel, turn round and do a return trip, and we'll bring you back down onto the boardwalk nice and safely in about an hour's time. In the same condition we've just received you in. Maybe. At the end of the day, anything could happen. Before we do anything else, it's our duty by law just to give you all a quick safety announcement. Don't worry about it, you are only on the canal. It's a big boat and not a lot of water. But if we did need to evacuate the vessel for whatever reason, first of all, we'll bring it to whichever side of the canal bank is most appropriate at that time. Get it tied up and secure, and if we can solve the problem, yay, we'll carry on with the journey. If we can't and we still deem it necessary for you to leave the vessel, then we'll give you a clear, concise instruction to do so. And it'll be along the lines of quick, get off. Right? There's none of this, bing bong, this is your captain speaking. Right? None of that, none of that. That's all the big stuff. Right? Not this wee dinky thing.
Nobody's playing Nearer My God to Thee on the violins or anything like
not
that.
Yet.
No, not yet.
But if you want violins, we'll try and get you some.
Yeah.
Maybe. But yes, no, we won't be doing anything like that, sir. And we're lucky, we did have a report, but we don't have any icebergs either, so we're grand. 6 emergency exits on board, with this one here at the front. You can go off left or right as appropriate, don't go straight ahead. Okay, that's not a popular route, that one, and the first step is a real doozy. So we don't use that one. 2 exits midships, the one you came in on. There's one directly opposite, 2 at the very back after the last row of seats, both left and right, and there's one more through the crew access door. That takes you out onto the back of the boat and you can go off left or right. The most important thing for you to remember is whatever side we've tied up to, that is the side you should exit from. Okay? We like to know that as the dry side. That's the side that the skipper and I will be looking after exclusively. If you want to go any other route other than the one we specifically advised, then feel free, go ahead. We're not going to stop you. And more importantly, we are not coming in after you. Alright. If you do decide to go out the wet route and you're over 5'6", once you're out there, don't bother swimming, screaming for help, or crying like a girl. Just put your feet down and walk ashore. That's all it is. If you're under 5'6" and you followed the Egypt ahead of you, hang on to them, they're already walking ashore. And worst case scenario, if the boat sinks, stand up. 5.5 foot deep out there, the boat is already 5 foot into the water. We will get our feet wet. If you do not want wet feet, put your bum on the back of the seat and we'll work it out from there. Okay? Grand. We're all happy. Okay? The amount of power it's going to take for the wheel to start its rotation, the gates have come up behind us so it won't be long now, is 18 kilowatts of energy. Wow. 18 kilowatts is the equivalent to 2 electric showers or 8 standard kettles. And that 18 kilowatts will be moving 1,800 tons. So it's 1 kilowatt per 100 tons. We don't need a lot of power.
Because it's balanced. Yeah.
It is balanced, so you're absolutely right. We use the Archimedes principle of water displacement. Yeah. And everybody, I can see it going through your mind now. What was that thing? Archimedes, I remember doing that in school. What was it? Archimedes, the Greek mathematician and philosopher, discovered if you place a floating object into a volume of water, the object will displace its own weight within that volume. Archimedes did this with his bum in the bath, we're doing it with the boat in the tub. It's exactly the same principle. There we go, we're off and running. If anybody was expecting an Alton Towers ride, you're going to be severely disappointed. This is as exciting as it gets. Although if we break down, it gets more exciting. Because we just sit here and wait. I'll open this up a bit so that if you want you can take pictures, but you cannot physically stand out there. You can only put your hand out with your camera. Feel free, please do. If you want to move about, by all means do so. It does not affect the vessel.
When was this all finished, built?
It was finished in 2002, sir.
Really?
Yes.
Wow.
In actual fact, tomorrow is the wheel's 11th birthday.
Oh my God, really?
Yes. Yeah. There'll be no cards, no cake.
No cake, no celebration.
In actual fact, we asked 2 members of staff today. I said, do you know what tomorrow is? And they went, yeah, Friday. I said, no, the significance of tomorrow. No. I said, it's the wheel's 11th birthday. The only people that remember the wheel's birthday is the boat. Everybody else, even though we were here for Her Majesty to open the wheel on the 24th of May 2002, we were all here, but we're the only ones that remember its birthday. Because we're on it every day, you see? We talk about it every day. We can get 12 boats on the wheel at any one time if we wanted to. Okay? That would involve 6 30-foot long narrow boats, just like the Fiona down there or the Willow. They are longer than 30 foot, but if you imagine them as 30 foot long, we can get 6 in either gondola. If your boats are bigger, like this one, then naturally we get less in. If they're smaller, like small cruisers, then we'll be able to fit more in. But we can put cruisers in and narrow boats, other users as well. You don't have to have the same number in either. It's going to take us 4.5 minutes to get from station to station. And we replace 9 of the original 11 locks that once connected the 2 canals. Now the 11 locks are not situated here, they never were. The canal never extended out to this point. This is new, or 11 years old, so that is extremely new within a canal's history. As we go further up, once we pass the height of the trees, we'll see 2 tower blocks. One tower block has got blue balconies, the other one's got green balconies. That's the 2 tower blocks that sit along the line of the 11 locks. The 11 locks were filled in 1933 and they were built on top of. So they are under the ground just now, so they are being preserved, which is lovely. It would be nice, I would love to have them excavated and, you know, it would be amazing. There we go. Just start to see tower blocks now. Now the wheel was not designed and built as a visitor's attraction, that's not why it's here. It is a working boat lift. But it's here to connect 2 canals together again. But because it's seen as a visitor's attraction, people forget actually why it's even here. So we're going to connect the Forth and Clyde Canal below us to the Union Canal above us. And we are now the connection that was once the 11 locks. It would take a full day to work through the 11 locks. It's taken us 4.5 minutes. You'd lose water all the time you use the lock chamber. Don't we bring the water up with us? If we just rotate it, back and forth, back and forth. And we can get multiple vessels in at any one time. Look over behind us, where you see the line of fir trees on the horizon. Beyond the fir trees, you can see some peaks. It's where the electricity pylons are gone up. That's the Trossachs. we're getting a good 45 miles of visibility today, right now.
Really?
We can see the furthest peak over to Old Kilpatrick in the west. It's a 20-foot ditch, and all the earth that came out of the ditch, they piled up next to it to make a mound, and then they built the fortifications on top of the mound. As we approach the tunnel, you'll see all the trees, and in amongst the trees is a grass banking. That is the wall. Don't look for any Romans. It's too cold. It's too cold for them. Remember, they were wearing little skirts. Little skirts and flip-flops. It's way too cold. And at night time, the midges come out, you know. And our midges are famous for a great good bite. What we're going to do is put this on for you, so you'll be able to listen to stuff and see things as well, and then we'll get you back in over the wheel again. Okay? Lovely.
Enjoy this boat trip on Falkirk Wheel, the world's first and only rotating boat lift, which continues the finest traditions of centuries-old Scottish engineering excellence and innovation. Opened by Her Majesty the Queen in 2002 as part of the Millennium Link project, the Falkirk Wheel was designed to reconnect the Forth and Clyde Canal with the Union Canal and reopen the waterway principally for recreational use. A series of 11 locks close to this site, which linked the two canals until the 1930s, when the lock system fell into disuse. The height difference between the Forth and Clyde Canal at the bottom and the Union Canal at the top is 35 metres. The Falkirk Wheel was designed by Scottish architects RMJM and constructed by Butterley Engineering of Derbyshire and cost £17.5 million to build, with funding coming from many partners. The entire Millennium Link project cost £87 million. The Falkirk Wheel structure has an overall height of 35 metres and consists of two opposing arms which take the shape of a Celtic-inspired double-headed axe, and it will take just 4 minutes to travel to the top. The boat moves into a gondola which holds boats side by side. There are two gondolas on Falkirk, which always weigh the same, whether or not they carry their combined capacity of 600 tons, as the water contained within the gondolas is displaced to compensate. The Falkirk Wheel is under the operation of the main control room at the basin, and safety procedures are closely monitored to ensure that the wheel cannot turn until all the steps required have taken place. To make the Falkirk Wheel ready to turn, two hydraulic steel gates are raised to seal off the gondola from the water in the canal basin. Between the gates is then pumped out, and a watertight seal which connects the gondola and the canal basin is removed. A hydraulic clamp, a series of securing pins which prevent the arms of the wheel from moving while the gondola is docked, are now removed as a wide outer rings orbit a fixed inner cog of the same width. Two smaller cogs connect the inner and outer rings together. These travel in the opposite direction and this ensures that the two gondolas remain level. Without this system, the inertia created by over 80,000 gallons of water would tip each gondola over. According to Archimedes' principle, floating objects displace their own weight in water. So when a boat enters the gondola, the weight of water displaced will equal the weight of the boat. This means that one gondola holding one or more boats will always weigh the same as an empty gondola, providing that the water levels are the same. Maintaining an equal water level in each gondola is critical to the operation of the wheel. A system of electronic sensors constantly monitors the water levels up and down the Falkirk Wheel site. Balance and equilibrium are the two principles behind the Falkirk Wheel's remarkable energy efficiency. It uses only 1.5 kilowatt hours of energy to cook 1/2 turn, the equivalent of boiling 8 electric kettles. Unlike a conventional lockgate, the Falkirk Wheel makes very economical use of water. Because water has to travel both up and down with the gondola, the canal water is never wasted. The boat is at the highest point of the Falkirk Wheel on the aqueduct and will travel through the pinch point, a gauging point on the canal which ensures that boats are of a size which will fit along the Union Canal at its narrowest points. You can see in front of you the Roughcastle Tunnel. This tunnel was constructed as part of the junction between the Forth and Clyde Canal at the lower level to the Union Canal at the upper, therefore completing the Millennium Link. Above the tunnel are the remains of the Roman Antonine Wall, begun around AD 142 to protect the Roman invaders from the Papists. The Antonine Wall was 60 kilometres long, stretching from Bo'ness on the Forth to Old Kilpatrick on the Clyde, and was constructed of turf built up on a rubble stone base. The best preserved fort along the wall is known as Roughcastle, and is so close to where we are now that its name has been used for the tunnel. The Forth and Clyde Canal, which runs from Grangemouth on the Forth to Bowling on the Clyde, was started in 1768, but was not completed until 1790 due to lack of funds. The Union Canal was opened in 1822, and the two linked by a flight of 11 locks. The Falkirk Wheel now provides the link between the two canals. The men of the workforce who dug out the canals were called navigators, and in time the name became shortened to navvies. They came here to work mainly from Ireland or the Scottish Highlands. Over 1,500 navvies worked on the building of the Forth and Clyde Canal. The canals were designed to provide fast routes for transporting goods from one side of Scotland to the other. And from the beginning, rivalry was fierce between companies, all keen to provide the quickest journey between Glasgow and Edinburgh. Originally, the boats using the canals would have been pulled along by horses, but these were replaced by steam-powered vessels. The world's first practical steamboat, the Charlotte Dundas, was trialled on the canal in 1803. Cargo carrying boats have their history too. A boat designed to carry loaded coal wagons was used on the Forth and Clyde Canal in the 1820s, and is thought to be the first boat in the world to carry wheeled vehicles. The principal cargoes carried on the canal were coal, iron, timber and chemicals. Industries grew up beside the canal, and some of the canal-side towns grew along with them. Places like Falkirk and Tiller, where iron foundries proliferated, expanded as a result. The commodity was grain. This helped to feed growing urban centres, particularly in Glasgow and Edinburgh. Grain was also required by the many distilleries, which became a common feature of the canal side. They used the convenient water for cooling purposes. On the Forth and Clyde Canal, running between 1893 and 1939, with boats such as the Fairy Queen and the Gypsy Queen in regular use. The Forth and Clyde Canal was in use and was closed to navigation in 1963. But was also used for transport other cargoes such as furniture, agricultural produce, and carrying manure out of Edinburgh to fertilise the fields of West Lothian. The canal was an early casualty of the railway age. The Edinburgh and Glasgow Railway was opened in 1842, and it ran alongside the canal for much of its length. Although passenger boats used the canal for outings and cruises as soon as it was opened, the eventual decline in cargo loads was carefully constructed beneath this, the ancillary wall, and a major electricity line. Beneath the root of the tunnel also lie old fire-clay mine workings. Support for the floor, a 600mm layer of reinforced concrete, was therefore as important as the roof support. 300mm of concrete sprayed into steel mesh. The effect of the spraying can be clearly seen as you pass through. The Falkirk Wheel is the centrepiece of a regeneration scheme, the Millennium Link. When the National Lottery was launched in 1994, it provided a new source of money for major projects, and British Waterways, along with local campaigners, saw the opportunity to reinstate Scotland's canals. The first restored sections of canal were reopened in May 2000. A number of concept designs for a boat lift were produced, and work began using the final design in 1999, with construction being completed in 2002. Strong canal infrastructure that is perfectly positioned to be a significant contributor to leisure and tourism, and deliver a wide range of social, economic and environmental improvements to the people of Scotland. It is imperative that our waterways are made to work hard for the communities through which they run. British Waterways intend to work closely with all our partners to focus the efforts of the committed team here in Scotland on both meeting the needs of our current users and identifying additional opportunities on and off the water. Opportunities that will maximise the potential of our network for the long-term future.
we're gonna let it go next to us. Right, so, man.
What we have here is when it does rain, we call it liquid sunshine. It's trying to be positive, it really is.
Yes.
We really are trying to be
Yeah,
positive. But they do say if you want to see every weather, just stand still in Scotland, just for 15 minutes.
I thought that
and
was
you'll see-
Chicago's motto.
You'll see, is it? Is it?
Yeah.
You'll see every season in that 15-minute period. And it's true. It's true.
Do you get a lot of snow average here?
To be honest, the snow that we do tend to get is end of December, January. Yep. A lot of people, oh, you're in Scotland, oh my God, you'll be under snow. No.
That's pretty good.
Further north, yes, they have had actually quite unusual snow coverage. Because even now, the slopes up at Aviemore are very good for skiing.
Oh, wow.
Whereas normally, it's not. We're lucky if we get it in December and January, and then the ski season is over. To be honest, our weather is more wet and windy. Wet and windy.
The wind is biting out there.
It is, yes.
You gotta cover your ears and your nose.
Exactly, yeah. Frostbite. Yeah.
Beautiful view today. The wind blew all the junk out.
Absolutely beautiful, isn't it? The Ochil Hill range, John was just saying with regards to some of the shadows that you get, it makes them look more dramatic and it gives them more definition. And then you've got the Trossachs up the northwest.
That is 45 miles
It's
away.
about 45 miles away, you can see. We're a little bit too far around to be able to see the Forth Bridge
Yeah, I didn't know how
and
far.
the Forth Road Bridge. The Forth Bridge, very iconic structure with regards to, if you've seen it.
Yeah, we just.
You're not going to be there for
Oh,
But
fantastic.
no, that's for sure.
He's a Paul's with it. No, he's a.
You'll be in bed in the day.
He knows about this.
Bit of a duck focus.
Oh, lovely, because I mean, that is amazing. They do say if you go on the bridge, it rented out, although you can't now on the trains, and you throw money out. You're supposed to be lucky. They probably knowing me, we hit a bit of metal and come back and be pleased. Just better not walk away. Anything happens to me, it'll be me. Number of boats that have used the wheel, just this boat here, in the, well, it's 11 years now, tomorrow, 15,000.
Wow.
It's not like
a fee.
No, it's free.
It's free.
It is free.
Wow.
Boats pay the Waterways license fee. You can see the license there, which is out of date, by the way. I'll be telling them. And once you've paid your license fee, you can then transit through the wheel as many times as you like because you paid for it.
Yes, right.
You don't pay to go through lock chambers, and the wheel has replaced, I think it was eight or nine of the original 11. So therefore you should pay to go through it. And you don't. So it's nice. It's lovely to see it move. It's nice to
Flags over there. Oh, the
The
flags.
saltires. Saltire. It's the Scottish flag.
Because Cornwall is white.
Cornwall is black and white. Yes. Yes. Anybody from Cornwall will have black and white flag. I'm from the Isle of Wight. I have my own flag. So we're different. You've got to be different. So you've got the Kingdom of Cornwall is known as the Kingdom. So they've got the black and white flag. You've got the Welsh flag, the Scottish flag, and the English flag. So it's very patriotic up here in Scotland.
Very nice.
So,
Boy, is that
yes, it's all the time. Then you've got the Isle of Man as well. They've got their own flag.
They've got 3 legs.
Three legs.
What's the Isle of Wight?
The Isle of Wight, their flag is a blue background, a white diamond, which is the shape of the island, and 6 waves.
Oh, right.
I've been to the Isle of Wight.
It was the island, believe it or not, want to be independent of Britain, and they call the mainland, like the Cornish people, they've got their own flag as well. Yeah, you know, turn out. Oh, that'll be there. Up in the morning. So I put my flag up when I'm in residence, just like the Queen.
That's right. That's right.
She does. Wherever she goes, she gets her flag up. Yes, my darling.
Those structures over there, are they like amphitheatres? You know where those people are?
Werden wir nicht rauskriegen.
Ja, muss mal schauen. Das ist schwierig, die Bilder.